Okay, I am going to show you here how I'm gonna color this. This is from the Twilight coloring book here, and I am really new at this Procreate. And what I did was my eyes were just getting really bad, and I had to just, I don't know, I was playing around with some different options as far as the colored pencils go. And I was trying to play around with my iPad because I was in the hospital, as you guys know. And so what I did was, I didn't have access to my colored pencils, but I had my iPad. But when I was trying to find out about the colored pencils, there were no Prismacolor equivalents to color on the iPad, so I was bummed. So what I did is I actually created an entire color palette of all my Prismacolor pencils. So I took every single Prismacolor and I made them exact duplicates of the colors. So if I could pick up like a hot pink, and I know that my hot pink is the same exact hot pink as it would be if I were coloring in real life, and so that I could just color my pictures. So that's what I did. But I'm really new at using this iPad and the Procreate and all this stuff. So I mean, if I can do it, you guys can do it. So I'm gonna just try to show you here kind of how I am doing this. So this is the Procreate app, okay, and you get it for your iPad, and I'm so new at this. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I mean, I kind of figured it out, and I'm a 60-year-old lady that like doesn't know crap about this kind of stuff. So it's not that hard, and I'm going to try to teach you as best as I can, okay? So I have an iPencil, though. I had to go buy the little Apple Pencil for my pen in my iPad, which is like $100. But I mean, I couldn't do it without it. It's, you know, but I mean, you figure an entire set of Prismacolors is $100, and you know, you don't have to sharpen them, you don't have to buy paper, you can reuse it, you can keep coloring the same picture over and over again, you can make a poster if you want to, you can put it on cards, greeting card. I mean, you can do so much. But you know, you got to kind of learn it, and you can take it with you wherever you go. You don't have to bring your colored pencils. You don't have to bring a sharpener or anything. So, anyways, I want to kind of show you what I learned. Okay, so here's, like, pretend this is your paper. Okay, you could just kind of twist your paper around by using your fingers. You can make it smaller. You can make it bigger. And because my eyes are really bad, I like to make it as big as I can. You can make it really big, like if you want to get details. Look at how, I mean, you can get crazy big. You can do whatever you want. Okay, so that is what's really great. That's what I dig about this, is because it really saves on my eyes. Okay, now, like I said, the thing about my situation is my palettes. I wanted my colors to be my Prismacolors. Okay, and I also wanted, you know, to be like I was coloring with the, I don't want to just like take a color like this and just drop it in and like fill it. That's stupid to me. I mean, anybody can do that, right? I wanted to actually color, you know, like it's a real coloring book. So I had to figure out how to do it. And I've only been doing this for a few days, so believe me, I'm totally new at this. But it took me about an entire, almost those 2 days just to get the palettes together. So with all this yapping that I've done, let's kind of show you in what I'm doing here, okay? So what I did here is, okay, up here, these are your palettes. And what I did is, on my Etsy, you know, I have a Prismacolor set, okay? And it's how you learn your Prismacolors, right? Well, I arranged this the same exact way as I did in my Prismacolor section, where I have my my tones. Like, okay, so here's, it starts off with your blue tones, then I got my bluish green tones and all this stuff. So what I did is, see, once in a while I throw black here. I could take those off, don't worry, I'll teach you about this later. But anyways, I took a picture with my iPad of every single color to try to get it as close as I could to the actual real color of the Prismacolors according to my chart, which is really bitchin', because that is what I wanted. You know, I wanted to have the exact Prismacolors. So it's as close as I could get, and if it's not close enough, I can alter it. For example, okay, if you guys use Prismacolors for any amount of time, you know your pinks, okay? So I go from the colors, okay, from your, as far as your pinks go, you know, you have, the lightest pink you have is your Deco Pink, which is this pink here. Then you have your, you know, your Deco Peach, and I arranged them in a way where you could kind of see what's going on. If you follow the chart, you'll know exactly, because the palette, you can't write the numbers, so you can only go go by the colors. But if you print your sheet out and hold it next to you, and like if you're coloring a coloring book and you want to follow the number with your palette, you can do that. So anyway, you'll see as we move along. But like, okay, this is a hot pink. I don't know if you can see it moving around here, but this one here is the hot pink. Now, if you want it to be, I try to get it as close as I could, but if you want to adjust that, you click onto the value here, and you can actually go in here and you can adjust the colors by all these sections here. You can make it lighter, brighter, like if you want it really, like, see up here on the top right corner here, you can see how it gets really, really hot pink. You can get it as, that's what's really cool about this. So like, you're not limited to just hot pink, but if you want the true hot pink, you just limit it, go back to the hot pink that was on your palette, okay? So that's basically how I set your palettes, and your palettes are right here in your palettes, and all the palettes are right here. Now, I don't know yet how to upload all of them, but I'm working on it right now, how to figure that out, but just give me time. But I'm right now just kind of testing it out. I don't even know how to make this video of my screenshot yet. So the only way to learn for me is just to dive in and just kind of jump in and kind of figure it out. So that's kind of like what I'm doing. So, maybe I'm a guinea pig, you're a guinea pig, we're all guinea pigs, I guess. So either way, let's just kind of show you here how I'm just kind of slowly starting to do it. So, okay, the first thing I do is I imported a picture. This is from the Twilight Garden coloring book, okay? And you guys, I don't know if you know, I'm not going to teach you guys how to import pictures and all that kind of stuff, because that's all for a different thing. You guys should already know how to do that. I did not know how to do that, so I had to figure out how to get the picture here. So I scanned it from my computer and took it from my computer and put it on here, and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully you guys know how to do that. So anyway, once you figure out how to do that, in your gallery is where you have your stuff. So what I did is I put my my picture here and I copied it. So I selected it here, and then I selected it here, and then I duplicated it, and so I made a copy. So that way, if I screw up, I always have a copy. You know what I mean? So that way I can just have extra copies, just in case I screw up. I didn't want to have to keep importing it. That was just a little kind of thing I learned from this. Okay, so then, now, let's just kind of get started here. Now, I might mess up, I'm sure I will, but I'm just going to kind of show you what I'm doing so far. I'm just going to work on one flower, not the whole picture, no way. I will later, but I just kind of want to do this flower right here, just to kind of show you. So the first thing I do is, up here in the right side, I don't know how to share my screen, the top stuff, but there's a brush and a little smudge and an eraser, a layer, and a palette. Well, up on the screen where you have your layer, I set this first layer here, and I set it as a reference, okay? And I set it as a reference so that the black lines will stay black, and I can base everything on the black part. And you're going to understand how that works later. Just set it as a reference for now. You're going to understand later. I don't really quite know how to explain it yet. And believe me, I am not a graphic artist. I don't know crap about this kind of stuff. I just know kind of what I need to do to color, like I do on my coloring books. Okay, so that's the first thing that I do. Okay. Now, also I want to tell you on the right, if you ever make a mistake, there's a little undo button. You could just undo all of your stuff if you make a mistake. I've used that all the time. I just hold the button down and erase it if you need to. You can figure out, there's lots of videos on how to learn how to do it. I spent an hour trying to just figure out how to learn it, learning different things, okay? So I'm only using one brush in this whole thing. I'm not using any other brushes. I'm not using anything intricate. I'm just using a soft airbrush that comes with Procreate. That's all I'm doing, and I'm just adjusting the opacity and the hardness. That's it. I'm keeping it totally simple. It's called KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. I learned that when I was younger. Sorry, I was taking a sip of my drink. Okay, so now I have my Prismacolor sheet next to me, and I'm going to try to teach you about these colors. So let's get started here. There's enough yapping. So now we have our first layer set. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new layer. Now, we're going to select the airbrush. Okay, don't worry about anything yet. Just select your airbrush. Okay, now up here you can see you have different sizes. You have, you know, you can start off small, large, and all that stuff. You're going to be playing around with whatever you like, okay? And probably what you like is probably the same thing I like, because it's, you know, going to work, but everyone's different, but yeah. Now, here is your opacity. This is how hard, okay, let's see how I can explain this. This is the opacity, how light it is and how dark it is when you put the color in. And also when you're smudging it and blending the colors, how hard the pencil is going to blend it. And you're going to see it in action here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this the hot pink color. No, I'm sorry. I take that back. I'm going to take that back. I'm going to put in a base color first, and I'm going to grab a deco yellow. Okay, this is the deco yellow. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to push on the deco yellow, and I'm going to drag it into this area right here, okay? And let's say I'm only going to work on 2 petals. I'm just going to show you 2 petals, or yeah, just 3 petals for now. Let's say I'm working on just 3 petals, and I don't care about how it's filling in right now. I know it looks stupid. It doesn't matter how it looks right now, because what we're going to do is this. Over here next to the wrench, there's a little magic wand. Click that wand and go to opacity. And on opacity, just slide it until you could see the lines. Okay? Now you can see if I'm darker, the yellow gets darker again, the deco yellow. If I go lighter, see how it lightens up? Look at that. You can't do that with colored pencils, can you? No. So I just go to about, you know, a color that I kind of want as a base. Okay? I'm thinking right about there. Okay? Now, that's great. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to teach you something cool. I'm just going to grab a pink, which is 929 in Prismacolor, and I'm going to go with the same brush. I'm not even changing anything. Now, the only thing I want to change is this size of this brush. I want to go maybe about, I don't know, 23, 25%, maybe a little less. Let's start with smaller. Let's just start with about 12% or something. And start with something light, like in the opacity. See, if you have it too hard, look at what happens. You see? Okay, if you have it a little lighter, okay. So what we want to do here is, wait, erase that. Okay, so I'm gonna start here, and I'm going to select this layer. Now, when I select this layer, can you see how it's all making it like it changes the way it looks. There's like little lines in it. I don't know if it shows up on the screen or not, but it makes little lines and selected. And what that means is that all the areas that are yellow right here, when you put your color in, it won't go over, your airbrush won't go over the lines. Okay, like watch. Let me show you an example. See this here? When I do this, it's only going where I had put that color. You could even see where I made the mistake when I was doing it, where that line right here is going up and down. But you see, I can go over the whole thing, and it will keep this area that I filled in with the yellow safe. So this is like your safe spot, okay? So let me show you this again, just because I know it took me a while. So I'm going to undo everything, okay? I'm going to show you this again. So let's go back to where our layer was. Here's our reference layer, right? Set it as a reference. Okay, let's set it as a reference, right? We're going to grab another layer and get the color, and we're going to go up to our palette, take a deco yellow. All right, let's say you wanted a peach or light pink. It doesn't matter what color you use, but I'm just showing you. Okay, and you're going to take your color and just drop it in, and you can do all the petals. You could just do a couple petals. Let's just do all the petals. Just do all the petals. I'm going to make this one because it's kind of easy, just so you can kind of get it, okay? Just throw them all in there. Now, see how it's covering up the black and it's like all stupid? Don't worry about it, okay? It won't matter because we're going to lighten it up, remember? So just drop it in. Now, also you can move your picture over a little bit if you want to, over to the side to make dropping the colors a little, so you don't have to drop it so far in. You know what I mean? I mean, you don't have to pull your pencil so far. You could just move it closer, or if you want to be like, you know, lazy person like me. Not lazy, but I have arthritis, so I'm trying to make my life easier. Okay, so Now, remember, we're going to go over here to the magic wand, take the opacity now, and lighten it all up. Now, see, you can take it all away, see, but we want those lines to shine through, so you can make it darker, right? And then we can go back, and now see, now we want it just a nice range. However, I'm going to make this kind of a watercolory looking flower, okay? Okay, so let's leave it about there, all right? Now, I am going to come over to my layer and I'm going to select my layer. Now, the lines are going to change here, and you get all these little crazy lines to let you know that the area is selected. Now I'm going to go, and that makes it so that all these areas are safe. Now, what that means is, what's safe? That's the point, is what I'm trying to tell you. The only thing that's safe right now is going to be this right here. The only this, the here, let me make this smaller so I can write this here. This see right here, only this is safe. That area right here. See? Everything else you can right? Look. See, I can color the whole thing a different color. Okay? So everything that I selected is the area that I'm working on. Okay? So now, if you want to just work on one petal at a time, because see, if you do all these areas, that means that whatever you color on, say, whatever you color on this flower, hold on, give me a minute. I'm trying to figure something out here. Believe me, I'm totally new at this, so just bear with me. Okay, if you're trying to color on, oh, I can't even do it. On this flower here, I can't even, I'm trying to see how I can write so I can teach you, but either way, let's say you're just trying to color just this petal, right? Well, if you go over it like this, you're going to get other areas. So I'm thinking maybe as a starter, you want to work on just one petal at a time, okay? So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to the layer, and I'm going to go here, and I'm going to go clear. So what it does is it got rid of this whole entire layer, okay? So I'm just starting over, okay? So basically I'm just starting over. I'm going to go here and I'm going to merge down. So now it's just like I'm starting over, okay? So no harm, no foul, okay? That was the hardest part for me to learn. It was like, okay, I screwed up, now what? Well, that's easy. Just erase it all and start over. And you don't have to deal with the importing or nothing. You just start over with the brand new, which you can't do with colored pencils, right? When you have a real thing, you got to throw it out, you got to reprint it, and you got to erase and all that stuff. So I'm kind of really digging this. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, let's start over. So we're going to get a new layer. Okay, there's our brand new layer. Okay, so what do we have to do? You're going to go over here, and we're going to, let's grab a deco yellow. Okay, and what we're going to do is I'm going to just start with one petal at a time. I think that's the easiest way for me to teach you. This is the way I'm doing it, and I think, you know, starting out just like me, this is a good way to learn. So now go to the opacity, and what we're going to do is take it and turn it down, see? So you can go all the way down, or you can go all the way up. But what we want is to get kind of a medium so you could still see the lines. So here's your lines, and let's keep it right about there or so, okay? So there you go. Now you have your one petal done. Now what we want to do is we want to start selecting just this petal. So you go to your layer, and you're going to select your layer. So now your layer here is selected. Okay, now your whole board changes. You can see that you've got the little lines here. So that means that anything here, the only thing that is going to color is only what you have that's yellow. Everything else is not going to color. Remember? So if I just go like this, everything is going to be safe. So let's begin. All right, let's get to the fun part. So I'm going to take now our color here, and we're going to grab our airbrush, all right, and use the soft brush, and let's put it about maybe, I don't know, let's just start at maybe, let's try 20%, all right, and then let's go maybe, let's start it off maybe 30%. You can just play around until it's something that you like, okay? And then what we're going to do is we're just going to start putting in some color, right? Some of that color. And you just put the color in just like that, right? Then what, now that you think, oh, that's dark. Well, yeah, it is dark. So you're going to take some, see this little smudging tool right here? You take this smudging tool and you can raise and lower this little bar here. And so I'm going to raise it up a little bit, and I'm just going to kind of blend it. See how I'm blending that in? Now, if I take it down here and I'm taking the yellow, I'm kind of bringing that, all this, and I'm smushing all this color down here. The reason I'm doing that is because I know I already made a mistake. I wanted the pink, not that dark color. So I'm actually kind of getting rid of that. So, but I didn't want to waste the time on this video and start over. But I'm teaching you either way. And the dark isn't going to matter. It gives it a nice shading effect either way. Okay, so now what I'm going to do now is well, in a minute. So I can't. So what I'm going to do now is, oh yeah, I know I should. Okay, so I'm going to grab this hot pink.
Pause it.
There's no pause. So hold on one second. Okay, so now with this hot pink, I'm going to take the hot pink now. I mean, not hot pink, sorry. This is regular 929 pink. And I'm going to just put a little area in here with this nice 929 pink right in here. Now I'm going to take it up a bit, and I'm going to put it right on the edges. Look at that. Nice on the tips. Maybe I want some over here. Okay. Now I'm going to take, yes, sorry, my kids are walking in, you guys. This is going to happen when I'm recording, and I'm totally new at this, you guys. So, yeah, honey, what is it? What is it? Now I'm going to take my smudge tool, and I'm going to make it kind of bigger because I can see how I'm blending that in. Look at that. Isn't that nice? I'm blending that all in. Okay. Blending it nicely. Blending it. Okay. Now, if I want to add some more, I take my brush, and I go back in here, and I take my pink again, and I'm going to put it in maybe a little bit more in here. Oops. Okay, let me show you something else. So if you wanted a little finer point, what you do, put it in a finer point, and if you want it harder, look, if you put it really hard, look what happens. You see, this is what you got to play around with. See how this is really, really hard? Watch, it's all the way up, and you see how when it's all the way up, how dark that is? Okay, and if it's all the way medium down, see how light that is? Okay, so it all depends on your level of how you want to blend it in, which is really cool because you can't do that with colored pencils. So it's really kind of fun. I mean, I'm having a ball learning this. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to actually paint this flower in so you can see the whole process, okay? So let's do it without a lot of the yap and teaching, okay? Okay, my kids are all walking in, so that's okay. I'm just going to, you guys just watch while I sort of play along. You guys can color along with me, okay? Yeah, what's up? I don't have any mute or anything, guys.
This is for you.
This is full on live coloring. I don't know how to mute yet. I don't know how to do anything. Okay, thank you. Okay, just put it down, right? Hey, I'm filming live. You know, you guys, I don't know how to turn it. Sorry, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm live streaming, and I don't know. You have to go. Sorry, guys.
You should have figured it out.
Okay, I don't know how. I'm learning. I'm teaching. I'm teaching a class right now, and I'm showing them how I'm learning at the same time, and I'm showing them. So, all right, guys, so see, so now we're going to take this here, and we're going to take another one, a pink, and we're going to put that right in here, okay, and you can make, now, if you put your opacity a little higher, and you can make like let's say you want a little, oops, you make a mistake, just click your erase button. Anytime you make a mistake, sorry, there's like 15 people walking in right at the time I decided to teach a lesson, so it's like always working out that way. All right, sorry about that. It's just the way it is. You guys know it's a crazy world I live in here. So I'm going to go down here, and I am going to really try to do a nice little flower here for you. And I'm going to try anyway. All right. Okay, now let's do some coloring. All right, so see what I'm doing here? I am just like a colored pencil. Okay, the only difference is I can control the colored pencil. Now there's two ways you can control this, which is really cool. You can control it with the pressure of your pencil, Apple Pencil here, just like you can in real life. And you can also control it with your you know, your opacity levels and the hardness. So there's like a lot you can do, and you know, if you really want to learn and play around, it's fun. I mean, I'm having a ball. And it feels like it's real colored pencils. It's a trip. Okay, so now I'm going to get the smudger, and I'm going to raise this up a little bit and see. Now here's the thing too. If it's too hard, it's going to blend it too fast. So when I'm blending, I like to keep my opacity level down. I can always raise it, but when I start off with a little bit bigger of a brush, so that I can kind of lightly, you know, I want to make a nice soft blend. Now I'm going to teach you something else here really quick, a little trick that I learned. If I push harder, I can blend harder. If you go different directions, you can make sure you get a nice blend. Okay, so that's how you can do it. Now I want to teach you something else. So let's say here you made a really hard line. Let's just grab like this one. Okay, and I'm gonna make this smaller, and I'm gonna make the opacity harder. Now see, like this, watch this trick. See this here? You know how when you're coloring with colored pencils, you're gonna make these lines, and you want to have lines, you know, like these things. Now remember, this is a safe area, so even if you bring it all the way down, you can have, you know, that area is always safe. You can't go outside the lines. You could just, you know, bring it around and be scribbling everywhere. You know, like look. See, I'm going everywhere, up and down, everywhere, and it doesn't matter because it only stays inside the yellow area. Okay, now see, I'm erasing it because I want to show you something. So now see, what I'm going to do here is, see how easy it is. If you don't like it, you can just erase it. So let's say I want to make little lines like this, right? Like you know, like you do with colored pencils, where you make, you know, you remember how I taught you guys my flicking motion? So let's say you're doing your flicking motion, right? Like this, and you're doing your flicking motion just like colored pencils. You're making your nice little flower, right? Nope, easy. We do this all the time in regular pencils, okay? Now, over to where your magic wand is. Select your magic wand. There's a thing here called Gaussian Blur. Take your Gaussian Blur, and just like we did with the opacity, slide it over, and look at what happens. See that? It blurs those lines. See how it blurs the lines? So if you want to make a dark area, you could just put pigment there, and then you can blur it out. So there's like a lot you can practice with. You can make a lot of effects really easy just by using that one little technique there, just by the blur. But what you want to do is you want to put that darker color on a separate layer, because see, if you notice, it's also doing it with the yellow. So for example, let's make a new layer here, and let's take another pink, and then let's do it with just the pink. Okay, so now what I'm doing is I'm going to make it darker here so you can see it a little bit better. I'm not trying to make a nice flower right now. I'm just showing you a little bit of the techniques that I've kind of just figured out. So, okay, so it's a real ugly petal, right? But I'm going to take that Gaussian blur, and I am going to lighten it up with the blur. And I'm going to come over, and I'm going to get it over, and see how it's starting to lighten? See? And only areas that are dark are just those areas. And now see, now I'm starting to refine it. And now look at how nice. See, now I actually want to keep that. Okay? Now look how nice. That's a nice area. So now what I want to do is I am going to, if I want to keep working on that layer, I can, or I can even start a new layer. Doesn't matter how many layers you want to do. Okay, but I'm going to unselect that area. Okay, I'm going to work on my new layer. Okay, because that gives it a separate little area that you can work on. And then I'm going to take, let's say you want to highlight, right? So let's take a white, for example. And take our airbrush again, and maybe you want to add some white. Now see how that is like really harsh, right? That's just too harsh. That's because this opacity is set way up, okay? So you got to be careful as to how high you set that. So you want to always start off low, and then you use your pencil to pressure just like you would a regular colored pencil as to how hard you push. If you push harder, then the color is going to come out harder onto, I call it paper, not paper, but you know what I mean. So you see what I mean? If I push harder, then you have more control, and it feels actually like a real colored pencil. And then if it's messy like that, just grab your little smudger tool, okay, and make sure it's set on the airbrush, And then, you know, you want to, the size, you know, keep it a good size and keep it a nice blending level. And see, now you can just blend it. Now look, now see how that top, now if you go too much, you can blend that whole thing. See what I mean? It's kind of, it's really fun, but you just have to, you just got to play around. Now I'm gonna do one, and you guys, if you guys follow me, just subscribe, and when you're a Patreon, you guys can watch my videos in length, and I will show you exactly how I do it. And you can, I'm gonna figure out a way how to get the colors, because I looked everywhere. There are no colors for the Prismacolors, and it took me a long time. I'm talking hours and hours and hours to get every single color on these palettes. And I arranged them in the hues. And I'm talking, I took a picture of every color. It's not perfect yet, and I'm not ready to do it, but I'm just letting you know. Stay tuned with me because I'm really picky when it comes to my colors, and I really want them to be as close to exact to Prismacolors, so that when you color on the with me here on this, and I teach you how to color in a coloring book, it'd be just like you're watching me in real life. The colors are going to be exact. So just stay tuned, and thanks for tuning in. Leave your comments and suggestions, and let me know what you think and if you want to see more. And thanks so much for tuning in. Ciao. I got to figure out how to turn it off. I'm going to edit this out, part of it. Don't worry. I just got to figure out how.
You gotta figure out how to
I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know how to pause yet.
Edit.
Hold on. No, there's no here.